guys, Anthony and Chelsea here. Today we want to talk to you guys about how to do country dance spins, okay? So you might refer to them as spins or turns, or I've heard them called twirls since I've been here in Texas, but we're just going to talk about turning and how to turn a partner from the leader's point of view and the follower's point of view. So basically what we're talking about is anything where I would have her spinning or turning over her head. So we're going to talk about a lot of different aspects of that and how to make those comfortable. I mean, you've seen couples out on the dance floor where they're kind of pulling each other's, or look like they're pulling each other's arms out of sockets. So there's a lot of things that we can talk about here to make that easy and comfortable. Okay. First thing is that we'll talk about in turning is we have to imagine the ladies are, women are angels. They have this halo that goes around their head. And guys, so we have to treat them like angels. And if we're focusing on the hand up here, if we're turning her, we've got to keep that circle going the whole way around that halo when we turn. The idea here is there's only one reason she will ever lose balance during a turn. Or when she's dancing or standing or running, there's only one reason she'll ever lose balance is if her body is not vertically positioned. Gravity pulls this way. So if her head is leaning here or here in any different direction, it's going to pull her over. So think of trying to balancing something like this, and if something happens, it starts to topple over. Now, if her head is in this position, vertically, we hope it is, and we keep that the same circumference around, it's going to help her keep that balance through the turn. If that halo is lopsided, which means it's wider on one side, let's say that her head is here and it's wide on this side but short on this side, if it goes short, then what happens is it starts to pull her off balance. And I'm probably assuming pretty correctly, accurately, that she doesn't want that, okay? So if we keep that the same circumference around her head, she's gonna have a lot more balance during those turns. The next thing, if we're focusing on the top part of a turn, is that we're never going to quote unquote hold hands. And what I mean by hold hands is you have no reason to have thumbs. Ladies, please, please never hold me with your thumb, all right? So if she's got her thumb and she's gripping, it's gonna start twisting my fingers and so on and so forth. So you've gotta have the right amount of connection. I appreciate having all 10 of them. I wanna keep them intact. So don't ever hold hands. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my middle two fingers. She creates a cup with her hand, and I place my middle two fingers in that cup. So that when I'm turning her, all that happens is I spin around in that cup. And ladies, just because you're not using the thumb doesn't mean you get to grip this way either. It's going to have the same effect. So you just create the cup, and I just kind of spin around in it. Okay, so you can think of Spider-Man, you can think of a pistol, you can think of whatever you think of, but the idea is I just take those middle two fingers, okay? We don't hold with the thumbs, we don't grasp, we don't grab, squeeze, pinch, any of that stuff, okay? So if we're gonna place the hand into the halo, before we turn her, most of the time, we have to place the hand into the halo first and then circle around the circle. Here's another mistake that people will make, okay? So if she's stepping forward with her left foot, if I have my hand down low and I do this as a turn, that's gonna, her body's gonna follow the direction of the hand. So if the hand's going from down here and I pull it up, it's gonna throw her body in all kinds of weird directions. So usually what I do is I place the hand into the circle, and it's not the raising of the hand that creates a turn, it's the rotation around the spine. Okay, so we've got to place a hand into the halo first. It doesn't matter whether an inside turn or an outside turn or what direction, I'll place the hand into the halo first, and then I just circle it around until it's time to finish, okay? The act of raising the hand does not create turn, okay? There's no signals in turning. It's the actual physical act of asking her to do something. Here's what I mean. If we were dancing, and we're dancing here, if I raise my hand, that's not going to cause a turn. It's just opening the door that once I raise the hand, then I can start to rotate her and her frame around her spine. Okay, so this does nothing. There's no motion of turning. She's not going to levitate because I bring the hand up. I just bring the hand up, place it into the halo, and then circle it around. So this is one of the most overlooked things when it comes to turning, is the connection between you and your partner. Leading a turn is not making her turn. I'm not gonna make her do anything. I'm gonna ask her to do stuff, and dancing is the only activity. If I ask her to do stuff, she never gets to tell me no. Just remember that, guys. So if this is your one time, she never gets to tell you no. So, but basically, I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna open the door, and then would you like to turn? She says, that would be lovely," and she goes underneath that hand. So now we're gonna focus on the lower part of the body. We're gonna talk about the feet. leading a turn or leading anything is partially what do I do, it's partially how do I do it, but it's mostly when do I do it. It's doing it at the right time. She has to be and have her weight on the correct foot in order for her to do the turn. Let me give you an example. If she is facing you and her left foot is forward, and if she's standing on that left foot, she can now comfortably turn to the left because she is weighted on the left foot. Now, if she's weighted forward on the right foot, that is really hard. It's going to be awkward. So let me give you an example. So if I'm forward on my left foot, I can turn on the left. But if I'm forward on my right foot, this is weird. That's just not going to work in the same way. So if I want her to turn to the left and she's facing forward, she'll be on her left foot. I got to make sure she's on that left foot. If I want her to turn right, she'd have to be forward on the right foot, and now I can turn her to the right. But it can't be the opposite way around. So if you look at, we'll just take country two-step, for example. If I'm going to lead her for an inside turn, she has quick, quick, slow, slow. Quick, quick, slow, slow. She is forward on her left foot now, so it's at that moment I would lead that left turn, right? If I want her to turn the opposite direction, she has to be on the opposite foot. Now, this is only when she's facing forward. I don't want to get too technical, but if she's facing backwards, quick, quick, slow, slow. Now she's on her left foot and she can turn to the right because she was facing backwards. So it's whichever foot is on that side. Should have another video on that and really break that down a little bit further. The third thing we want to talk about, turns or spins or twirls or whatever, is that we're not really, when we're social dancing, we're not going to turn around an axis the way that a figure skater would spin, okay? So we prefer to actually have things in motion. So you have momentum going in a direction and you take that momentum that's already moving and just add rotation to it. This is going to be much more comfortable. If she's forward on her left foot, if she's going towards that direction while she's turning, her body has the momentum to go. It's not going to be as comfortable if she tries to like spin around in one spot because he is pushing on her and it's hard for her to maintain that pivotal point in social dance. Now there's some tricky maneuvers and performance type things where you can do that, but not today. All right, so whatever happens when we're dancing, she is in motion, she has that momentum, and she just keeps that momentum and keeps it going the entire time, and that's going to help her stay on her center. So here's the tips that we learned today. Women are angels that have to do everything we tell them to, and she never gets to say no, and she's always going places, and you know, win actually matters. So I hope that's been helpful, and we'll see you guys next time.